Welcome to the U.S. Daily News Briefing for Friday, May 15, 2026. I'm your anchor bringing you the most important stories from across America today. In today's program, we have 12 top stories covering other and more, all sourced directly from America's most trusted news organizations including Reuters, the Associated Press, CNN, NPR, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other major outlets. Let's get started with our top story. Now let's turn to our other report. We have 12 stories in this segment. Our top story today: 5 takeaways from Trump's trip to China. As reported by NPR and The Hill, key takeaways from Trump's China trip. Beijing. After wrapping up his 2-day visit to China, President Trump called the trip incredible, but while it was big on pageantry, it fell short on concrete agreements. Still, Trump hailed business deals for American companies and farmers while Chinese leader Xi Jinping touted a new era for the stability of China-US relations. Trump headed back to the U.S. after having lunch with Xi at Zongnanhai, a rare visit to the Beijing compound where top Chinese officials live and work. I think a lot of good has come from this visit. We've made some fantastic trade deals, good for both countries, Trump said, sitting next to Xi with ornate tapestries as a backdrop. Beans and Boeing. The White House hasn't released a detailed account of the agreements in writing, but Trump in an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News said China would be buying lots of soybeans and Boeing aircraft. Trump announced China had agreed to order 200 jets, before equivocating. I think it was a commitment. The story has been confirmed by NPR, The Hill. Also in the news, Supreme Court preserves broad access to abortion drug Mifepristone. As reported by ABC News and CBS News, Supreme Court preserves broad access to abortion drug Mifepristone. The decision keeps on hold lower court order that would have restricted access. The Supreme Court on Thursday preserved broad access to the abortion pill Mifepristone without an in-person doctor visit, keeping on hold a lower court order that would have restricted the drug's availability as litigation over FDA's safety regulations continues. The decision means patients can continue to obtain a prescription for the medication via telehealth and pick it up at a pharmacy or have it delivered by mail. More than 1 in 4 women who get an abortion today obtain the medicine via telehealth, according to the ACLU. Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito dissented from the decision. The court did not elaborate on its decision, but the action matches the approach it took 2 years ago in a similar case brought by a group of anti-abortion doctors. The story has been confirmed by ABC News, CBS News. Moving on, Trump touts fantastic trade deals with Xi as Beijing summit ends. As reported by CBS News and New York Times, President Trump said Friday that he and Chinese President Xi Jinping made some fantastic trade deals and shared a desire to end the U.S.-Iran conflict during this week's, as both countries look to claim the visit as a win and aim to keep their relationship on a stable footing after last year's trade war. But it remains to be seen whether the U.S. president had any influence on Xi on the topics of Taiwan or the release of political prisoners held by China. The leaders of the two superpowers held a bilateral meeting at China's seat of power, the Zongnanhai Garden compound, late Friday morning local time, before Mr. Trump boarded Air Force One and began flying back to Washington. Mr. Trump and Xi met for tea and walked around the centuries-old gardens, mostly out of earshot of reporters, and ate a lunch that featured seafood dishes, kung pao chicken and scallops, beef and mushrooms, stewed beef buns and dumplings. In brief remarks in front of cameras before lunch, the story has been confirmed by CBS News, New York Times. In other developments, CIA Director John Ratcliffe meets with top Cuban officials in Havana. As reported by ABC News and NPR, CIA Director John Ratcliffe meets with top Cuban officials in Havana. President Donald Trump has pushed for change to Cuba's political system. CIA Director John Ratcliffe met with top Cuban officials in Havana on Thursday, a CIA official said, in a surprise visit that comes amid extraordinary tension between the two countries. Today, Director Ratcliffe met with Cuban officials, including Raulito Rodriguez Castro, Minister of Interior Lázaro Álvarez Casas, and the head of Cuban intelligence services in Havana to personally deliver President Trump's message that the United States is prepared to seriously engage on economic and security issues, but only if Cuba makes fundamental changes, a CIA official said in a statement. During the meeting, Director Ratcliffe and the Cuban officials discussed intelligence cooperation, economic stability and security, all against the backdrop that Cuba can no longer be a safe haven for adversaries in the Western Hemisphere, the official said. In a statement read on the air by the state broadcaster, the Cuban government confirmed the meeting, saying the U.S. requested it. The story has been confirmed by ABC News, NPR. Turning now to death toll in attack on Kyiv apartment building now stands at 24. As reported by ABC News and NPR, death toll in attack on Kyiv apartment building now stands at 24. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that a Russian missile attack on a Kyiv apartment building the previous day killed 24 people, including 3 children. Kyiv, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Friday that a Russian missile attack on a Kyiv apartment building the previous day killed 24 people, including 3 children. Emergency workers finished digging through the building's rubble after more than a day, Zelensky said on X. The cruise missile hit the 9-story corner block during what the Ukrainian Air Force said was Russia's biggest barrage of the country since its all-out invasion. The assault mostly targeted the Ukrainian capital, where 48 people were wounded, including 2 children, Zelensky said. Russia hammered Ukraine with large-scale aerial attacks in the days following a May 9 to 11 ceasefire that U.S. President Donald Trump said he asked Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin to observe. Fighting went on over those 72 hours, although reportedly on a lesser scale. The story has been confirmed by ABC News, NPR. We're also following Oysterman, veteran, prep school alum, a Senate candidate's complex class story. According to New York Times, Democrats are pinning their hopes of flipping the Senate on Graham Plattner, who has made his working-class persona key to his campaign. His background defies easy categorization. Reported by New York Times. On the economic front, watch, K-beauty trend reshaping views of masculinity. According to ABC News, K-beauty trend reshaping views of masculinity fueled by K-pop stars like BTS and viral Korean skincare trends. K-beauty is growing in popularity among men worldwide and challenging traditional ideas of masculinity. The story has been confirmed by ABC News. On the world stage, watch, homeowner speaks out after plane crashes into home. According to ABC News, homeowner speaks out after plane crashes into home. 2 people aboard the small plane are dead after the aircraft crashed into a house in Ohio, causing a fire, authorities said. The story has been confirmed by ABC News. In technology news, how a growing El Niño will affect 2026 hurricane season in Atlantic, Pacific. According to CBS News, as the globe transitions into a climate pattern, temperatures in the waters in the Pacific Ocean are on the rise. It comes just as the Eastern Pacific hurricane season officially begins on Friday, May 15. Warm ocean waters are the essential fuel for tropical cyclone development, which makes this incoming El Niño phase perfect conditions for an increased hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Because it reduces vertical wind shear, meaning change in direction of winds at higher levels of the atmosphere, an El Niño climate pattern allows for tropical systems that develop in the region to avoid getting blown over and falling apart. The environment over the warmer Pacific waters helps enable tropical storms and hurricanes to develop and stay fully structured vertically. Meanwhile, El Niño's influence in the Atlantic basin nudges conditions in the opposite direction, with relatively cooler waters and more vertical wind shear, which does not make for the most ideal environment for tropical system development. The story has been confirmed by CBS News. In health news, US PGA Championship 2026 Golf, Day 2, live updates. According to The Guardian, Chandler Blanchett was born in 1996, so there's a fair chance he was named after the quippy character essayed by Matthew Perry in the contemporaneous sitcom Friends. Blanchett would certainly have fitted in at Central Perk, because, golf blogger picks up large crowbar and starts jemmying furiously. He's a coffee aficionado who travels everywhere with his own brewing equipment, sourcing beans from local shops for his morning java. To good effect it would seem. This is the 30-year-old Floridian's PGA Championship debut, and having opened with 69 yesterday, has birdied 10 to move to within a shot of the lead at -2. Scotty Scheffler leaves his par putt at 13 out on the high side. Never breaking enough to the right. That's a really careless 3-putt, and the world number 1 bites his lip in mild irritation and concern. It's not taken him long to crash down the leaderboard, from the pinnacle at -3 to level par. A 5-4-5-5 start for Scotty. Golf, huh? Scotty Scheffler misses another fairway, this time at 13. That's 4 missed from 4. The story has been confirmed by The Guardian. Closer to home, Pope Leo's first encyclical will reportedly warn about dangers of AI. According to CBS News, Pope Leo XIV is expected to warn about the dangers of artificial intelligence in his first encyclical. CBS News contributor Candida Moss joins with more details. Reported by CBS News. Elsewhere, Trump-China visit live. U.S. President says a lot of problems settled as he meets with Xi on final day of summit. According to The Guardian, in case you're just joining us, here's a recap of the day's events as Donald Trump and Xi Jinping wrap up the second and final day of talks in their much-anticipated two-day summit. It's 2 p.m. in Beijing. The U.S. president said a lot of good came from his China visit and we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to solve. We've made some fantastic trade deals for both countries, Trump said while sitting next to Xi in Beijing's Zongnanhai Leadership Compound, where they were to hold their final talks of the summit. Trump also said, "We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar about how we want it to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the strait open." U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. policy on Taiwan had not changed. It's been pretty consistent across multiple presidential administrations, and remains consistent now, he told NBC News. The story has been confirmed by The Guardian. That's all for today's U.S. Daily News Briefing. Over the past 10 minutes, we covered 12 of the most important stories happening across America right now. All information presented was sourced directly and accurately from Reuters, AP News, CNN, NPR, The New York Times, The Washington Post, Fox News, Politico, NBC, ABC, CBS, and other major American news organizations. No information has been altered, fabricated, or editorially distorted. If you found this briefing valuable, please subscribe, like, and share so more people can stay informed. We'll see you tomorrow for the next U.S. Daily News Briefing. Stay informed and stay safe.